and welcome to the Joust. My name is Nagy. I'm here once again with my co-host Liam McNeil. Now, Liam,
Yes.
how are you feeling?
I'm seething through gritted teeth. I smile even though inside I don't want to. I'm hurting. Everything about my weekend was terrible.
I woke up on Saturday morning, Liam, and early, and said it was still dark. And I woke up suddenly and I leant over and I shook you and I said, Liam, please tell me that was a bad dream.
And I said, Nagy, just pull the Kindle up, have a bit of a read, get some Noam Chomsky into you. It'll calm you down and you can go back to sleep. And he rolled over and slept like a baby. Didn't even need the Kindle.
If you like us, Justice, I'm going to put this at the top of the show. Please like us on all those social pipes. Just stop and hit like on the all those ones: Facebook, YouTube, SoundCloud, Twitter, Instagram. All those wonderful social pipes. Now, before we jump into all what's happening in for the night's world, we better start with the news. One episode was going to keep doing doodlers straight in. It's going to be 45 minutes of doodlers, and you won't notice.
Love a good doodler.
It won't be.
It's funny, the story coming up, I think NRL players are going to have a bit of troubling not doing some doodling.
Now, Lynn, there's been some big things happening in rugby league, but the biggest is apparently waiting for us next year. Can you tell us a little bit about this?
Yes, I can, Nagy. Since the dawn of time, since the birth of rugby league, they've wanted to crack the biggest sporting market on earth.
Yeah.
North America.
North America.
Country where people love guns and hate rugby league, but that's about to change. Mr. Volandis, pictured here at Las Vegas in one of his junkets, I think they call them. It's a junket on our taxpayer dollars.
Yeah.
They are looking to send a game to Las Vegas. Now,
Why would you need to go to Las Vegas, Liam, when you can go to the Australia's Las Vegas?
the Gold Coast.
The Gold Coast.
No, I don't even know. I don't get the hype around Las Vegas or whatever. But look, this is an interesting concept.
It's all lights and signs. That's
And
all it is.
There's no soul to it.
No.
It's like Dubai.
No, you go there, they take all your money,
Yeah.
and you leave depressed.
I don't get it. I don't get why people want to go to Vegas. Whatever. Just go to the Pokies at the Hamilton Station.
Basically the same.
Same experience, except with less branded restaurants. Anyway, now the thought is, and this was the thought that was proposed last year, they want to do what they called Round Zero, where they would take two of Australia's more well-known rugby league clubs, notably Russell Crowe's South Sydney Rabbitohs and Hugh Jackman's beloved Manly Warringah Sea Eagles, and play a game of rugby league in Las Vegas.
Will they be fronting the game at Las Vegas? Will they be there too, sort of Americanites known for their work in America? Will they be there supporting their own teams?
Well, if they're not there, no one will turn up. So I think they have to. And I think it's definitely something that needs a celebrity face, a bit of a celebrity backing, the
hopefully.
shine of the fame.
Hopefully it's Hugh Jackman's face and not the face that that Russell Crowe has morphed into.
Oh, I like Russell Crowe's face because he looks like that bloke at the pub who you see every week watching the footy, and he sits there kind of quietly on his own. And, you know, Hugh Jackman looks like quite the opposite. He's the flashy, hot cocktail bartender.
Yeah.
Throwing the cans around, and you know the Tom Cruise to Russell Crowe's
Brian
Brian
Brown.
Brown. But
It's a strange sort of kinship that they have, because obviously they're two very well, Australian/New Zealander, Australasian, if you will, stars in the United States.
Indeed, I will.
But at the same time, Russell Crowe's, Hugh Jackman's known to be the nicest man in the world, and
Definitely.
Russell Crowe turns out to be a bit of a prick most of the time. So it's interesting that these yin and yang would come together for such an event in the wonderful North America.
It's very interesting, Nagy. I agree, but that's the beauty of rugby league. Two characters, dissimilar in many ways, similar also in many ways.
They're both actors.
They're brought together. But look, my concern, Nagy, and I think every man, woman, and child in Las Vegas should share my concern. If we cannot expect rugby league players to behave at, Northies in Cronulla or Fannies in Newcastle, what chance do they have of leaving Las Vegas without several lawsuits and potentially arrests? I don't trust them.
The Strip, as they call it over there. I always thought it was just one road, but I think it's several roads made into
it's a
sort
couple.
Of made into a
A
city.
couple. But yeah, Las Vegas, whatever. They tried bringing rugby league to North America. They've actually got they had a team in Toronto, Canada.
Yeah.
And it was doing quite
The
well.
Wolf Pack?
The Wolf Pack, yes. But in all their infinite wisdom, the English Rugby League decided to move from the global hotspot of Toronto to the happening, leading city of the world in Cornwall. So, rugby league's been tried in North America, and it didn't work out because of the short-sightedness of the English Rugby League institution.
Yeah.
And so I have a feeling that much like the 1984 State of Origin game that was played in San Diego, this will not be well received.
Look, it's rugby league, it's NRL. They've never had any catastrophic failures on their record. Surely
No, they
not.
certainly haven't. Even players in the US not playing have caused issues. We remember, I believe it was the Burgess named Luke.
Yeah.
Luke Burgess.
The other one.
The other one.
When he was
the
play-
shit one.
Yeah, when he was playing for Manly, wasn't he?
He was. He got
Yeah.
in a bit of trouble over there. Of course, the Matt Lodge situation got in a bit of trouble over there.
Oh, yes.
Jared Hayne, bit of trouble over there.
A lot of trouble.
And just think, these morons in a country where guns are very easy to come by.
Morons and guns.
Morons and guns.
The United States, ladies and gentlemen.
The United States of America. First Amendment right. All morons can get guns.
Now, Liam, there's been a bit of player movement on the market, and that
Yes.
is with Jack Whiten officially becoming a Rabbitoh in 2024.
It's finally happened. It's finally happened. Jack has announced where he wants to go. He came out. Whether he said this or not, I don't know, but it was heavily implied and, could be all fabricated. But he left because he didn't see himself winning a premiership in Canberra.
Oh, what a way to set fire to the house you used to live in. You know, that's just on the way out. It's like keying your own car. It was. You and I discussed this, Liam, a few weeks ago. We said
I keyed Nagy's car and
We
he sat me
keyed
down.
my
We
car and then
had to have a chat.
burn my house to the ground.
I tried to
And-
gaslight him. I said, Nagy, you keyed your own car. Didn't
pan out. And we thought, Liam, that he was, going to retire from representative football because of money.
All that
filthy money. All that disgustingly
But-
dirty money. But instead,
He's done quite the opposite of what we thought. He's going for less
money.
instead of more money,
But
which
he-
is very interesting.
I suppose on the journey to success and fame, which brings along with it money. It's all wrapped up in a riddle of Jack Whiten to say. But it wasn't the end of the Jack Whiten saga. But
No, well, this less money
Money.
thing has really caused a bit of a rift
Yeah.
at Canberra. Now, less money means that you are below market value, which is something that is bandied around in the NRL often.
Yeah.
What is a player's market
value,
value?
yeah.
How do we establish what a player is worth and what they should get? And the talk is often positional.
Yeah.
Fullbacks, big money. Fullback money is even a term, I believe it's added to the Oxford Dictionary. Fullback money is the biggest money you can get.
Yeah.
You've got halfback money, 5/8 money.
Yeah.
You've got hooker money. You've got, bloke in...
Well, I've heard that he's on centre money.
he's
He
on
wants to be on
centres
that,
money.
that ritzy fullback money.
Yeah, no, I think he said, no. I don't want to be fullback. I don't want to do this for more money. I want to do this to win. And this has led to maybe the pettiest and saltiest thing I've ever seen. The second he signed, Ricky came out, the Canberra Raiders came out and they said, we want an investigation.
Yeah.
We want an investigation. He's leaving to take a massive pay cut.
Yeah.
It's not right.
Not right
It's
at all.
not right. And of course, the NRL media.
Is it just not right, Liam, or is it illegal?
It could be illegal, but of course the NRL media, especially one, won't name him, but Trawl Bent, he's got Ricky's ball bag so far in his mouth that he's parroted that, yes, this is illegal, this is a crime,
Yeah.
on par with some
Crimes of the century.
crimes of the century,
the,
perhaps.
the great train robbery.
Well, it's a different century, I think.
Yes. Well, we're in the 21st century now. It's short.
And it's not been, we're still only a short way into the century, so there's still plenty more crimes to eclipse that.
been any
Many will be committed by NRL players in Las Vegas.
Hopefully, maybe some actual great robberies.
Yeah.
You don't hear any great robberies anymore. You hit petty robberies.
Well, I think it's because money's all digital now.
Yeah, you can't steal.
You can't just rob a train.
You can't just you can't rob a train anymore.
You don't hear much about cattle rustling. Remember that was Ned Kelly's thing? They just stole cattle and then
Is that
became
what
the
they're doing?
worst people.
I thought they were holding up horses and wagons.
Oh yeah, they started with the cattle.
Highwaymen, as they call
Yeah,
it.
because they used to send the money
No,
on the
bush
train.
rangers is what they call it in
Bush
Australia. It
rangers.
makes it sound like they're going to give you a map.
Yeah, they had great names. Remember Captain Thunderbolt? Captain Thunderbolt, he was a great one.
I thought he was-
Redbeard the pirate, he's a bush ranger from the sea.
Captain Thunderbolt, I thought was a horse.
No,
Wasn't it a
no,
horse?
Captain Thunderbolt was a bushranger, I believe, from Uralla, somewhere in the southwest of New South Wales. He's got a whole town after him, I think.
Oh wow, they really
I always-
celebrate those cop killers out there. Don't they?
They really do. They really do. It's like, the Ballad of Ned Kelly's kind of Australia's answer to Fuck the Police by NWA. the Heath Ledger film, Ned Kelly, is
Yeah.
on par with Straight Outta Compton.
Straight
the
out of
film.
Compton. It's our own straight
It's the
out of
same
Compton.
thing. Yeah, I don't see any difference there.
Straight out of Bendigo. That's all. There's Liam. There was some teams coming into this round under enormous pressure. Not just our beloved Knights, but also the Tigers, the West Tigers. The what do they call them? The joint venture.
The very joint venture.
Which they should stop calling it if they ever want to have another joint venture again, because it seems to be a complete failure.
Yeah, they all have been. I've never seen a joint venture succeed. Never shall I. Oh, St. George won or whatever, but who cares? Who cares?
No.
Now, it's fun to laugh at the Tigers.
Always.
It's fun to see Tigers in turmoil, but as fans of a team who went on a ludicrously long losing streak,
Yes.
I believe it was 300 and something days.
Yeah, we're up there.
It was good to see a team snap the streak. Look at that happy Tiger there. That's Tim
Wonderful.
Sheen's on the screen there. Very, very happy man. But yeah, no, look, I think we can take a step back from the constant lambasting that we've foisted upon the Tigers and say, look, we've been there, Tigers. It's the best thing. I remember actually when the Knights broke the losing streak against the Gold Coast Titans.
Round 3 or something. Yeah.
It was round 3-ish. I was working at Central. Of course, we all know Central from our State of Origin events. The debauchery.
No longer open, though. They
No.
Close the doors. You
Shut
can't
the
go, can't
doors
go
many,
there
many
anymore.
years
No.
ago. But I remember being at work. It was absolutely, there was 2 people there, which is probably why the doors shut. So I just got to watch the whole footy game on the projected on the wall, and it's rare that I felt so happy.
Yeah.
So to all you Tigers fans out there, enjoy it, because it won't last long.
Soak it in.
Yeah, soak it in.
Well, now everyone's won a game and they beat Penrith, and it's very exciting. So there's no more kicking. There's no kicking boy, whipping boy. There's nothing left to kick.
Now, something interesting. The NRL's Circle of Parity, I believe it is called.
Oh,
Each team beats another.
Yeah.
It's been filled.
It's been filled.
been
The
filled.
prophecy has been filled, and it's only round 9.
What a time to be alive. What a great year of rugby league.
Rugby Union snatched one of their players, Liam.
They've taken a star. They've gone into the war chest. Well, they've taken a player. Yeah, they've Wonga Blake, who everyone forgets was in discussions for an Origin berth back in his Penrith days, but never really kicked on. So, I think this news really whelmed everyone.
It really whelmed. I was left whelmed.
Very well.
Very well.
Of all the things to happen in rugby league this year, this is one of them.
It is certainly one
It's
of them.
one of them.
It's absolutely just one of those things to happen. You probably will forget it by the morning. And
What?
Exactly.
Who's that on the screen? Oh, no, we changed the screen. This is wonderful.
Yeah.
We've gone from news no one gives a shit about to really big news. Now, the NRLW Knights last week, 2 huge signings. 2 more huge re-signings.
Re-signings,
2 more huge re-signings this week, led by Caitlin Johnston. We love Caitlin Johnston on this show, don't we?
Is Johnston?
I think it's Johnston.
Johnston. And it's also like, maybe calling Alex Johnston.
Yeah.
For the wrong thing my entire life.
I don't see the point of having those 2 names so closely pronounced except for one letter.
Johnston.
Why? Just drop the T.
Just say it's
Or
Johnston.
add the T.
Or add the T.
Pick one.
Make all of them Johnstons or all of them Johnsons.
Pick one and go with it.
That's it.
It's very simple.
But
Volandis,
make it happen.
these are the hard questions that he won't answer.
He won't.
Is it Johnson or Johnston? Peter?
It's great to have her to be re-signing. Obviously, we've lost our fearless leader, Millie Boyle, for next season. but
Maybe we may see the birth of a new fearless leader.
I think so. I think so. Possibly
Maybe the
better.
evolution, not the birth, because she was already born.
She's already a premiership winner.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the elevation.
That's right.
The elevation of a new leader, perhaps.
I'm really looking forward to seeing the NRLW this year. I think it's going to be fantastic, and is going to be supporting a team that's the defending premiers.
Yes, it's
'Cause-
been some time. 2002, we were just boys.
Mere
Mere
children.
children. Very children.
Yeah,
As we still are.
We are only in our mental capacity. Now, Liam, we can avoid it all we like. I know you don't like talking about it, Liam, I know, but this is the very purpose of this very show, is
it
to
is.
discuss the sum of all of our fears, that movie with Ben Affleck,
Ben Affleck, yes.
and as it was Morgan Freeman, and that
Written by the great Tom Clancy.
yeah,
One
and
of history's great military writers.
And very much like that film, a bomb went off in a stadium.
It did.
Except this time, the bomb was the Newcastle Knights coming up against the Parramatta Eels. Now, I think the scoreline flatters the Knights a little bit, 43-12.
I think the Parramatta were unlucky not to score 43 points in the very first half.
43 tries,
43
possibly.
tries even. 43. I don't know. What It was
What?
worse than anything dished up. Sorry, my testicle just popped.
What?
Call the doctor.
What went? Nothing went right.
I was going to say everything went wrong. Don't ask me that question. You know what I'm going to say. It was just. It was worse than anything dished up in 2022. And
I don't know about that, Liam. It could have been on par. It could have been. It definitely had the. It definitely had the same vibe of 2022.
Yeah.
It felt like we were back there all again, and it. I don't know. It was something very early in the game. Surely they scored a very quick try. It might have been a bit soft. The Knights came back with the Matt Croker try. It felt nice. It felt like, oh man, this is going to be a tit for tat. But then we stopped titting, but they kept tatting. And they tatted on.
Where does that come from? Where's that saying? What's the tit and what's the tat?
What's the tat? I don't know.
I just don't want to talk about this game, but we must. We must. I apologise for digressing, of course. We must come back to reality, the sobering reality that we all live in.
We made a recommendation.
Our workaday life that makes us all so sad, and then that happens.
Day after day after day. I made a bit of a thought. I thought, look, AOB, this is what you got to do to fix everything. You got to put your Kurt Man at number 9 for the first 15 minutes, and then you bring Phoenix Crossland on fresh and exciting, and he's got to be good. And they did that plan, and then nothing worked.
No,
nothing
everything
worked.
got worse.
Everything
they did that plan, everything went to hell.
Went to shit.
Now it went to shit.
Yeah.
Went to poop.
We're allowed 3 swears this show. I think we've already used them up. Otherwise, got to put a.
Well, that one only
restricted.
counts as one because we both use the same swear.
Shit. Yeah.
But I honestly, I was lost for words.
Yeah.
Because the season so far has been a season of
Toughness.
not quite redemption, but toughness,
Grit. Manly,
effort,
Bruce,
and
Lance, and
just
Ross.
doing good, powerful things.
Powerful names.
But they crumbled like a wet cake,
Yeah.
like our brains last weekend. The
Like
last
a
Monday
wet
or whatever.
cake. But I can't. I'm
See,
lost
this
for
is
words.
what you've done to
I'm
us,
lost-
Newcastle Knights.
I'm lost for words.
You've taken our already addled brains and made it worse.
It was something that I was concerned was going to happen early in the season. I thought we were going to be found out by like the Penrith Panthers, or it was just going to be one of those games that, gets turned on its head. But we managed to fool everyone and say, no, not this season.
We pranked them.
But we put it in Newcastle Knights, put that little one in their back pocket, and they pulled it out the week before the bye, Liam. The week
Yes.
before the bye.
Yeah. Now, Tim Sheens famously said earlier this year, we've got the bye coming up. We might be a chance for the win, and I really feel that right now. I really feel that. That powerful Melbourne Storm winger, the bye we're coming up against.
Marcus
Given
Bai.
the performance last week,
One man
Marcus-
versus 17.
Marcus Bai alone could probably put 25 plus on the Knights. Put your house on it. Sportsbet 13 plus. Marcus Bai playing the Knights, but we're suffering so much, but there was slight positives.
Well, the
to
second
game.
half was only 12-6. We lost, so 13-6. Sorry, 13-6. So that's not a bad game if you look at it in clumps of 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And also, we kicked at 100%. 2 conversions out of 2. So I suppose that of all the things we asked to improve, they improved one of them and just didn't improve on any other aspect of the game.
Well, the firing of Mark Tukey obviously is starting to
The
pay
fire of the
off.
Mark Tukey, of course.
Yeah. But look, we need to look somewhat at the positive. So there's some headwear removal to be offered. Nagy, who's your hats off, please?
Hats off for this week is our very own Greg Mazieu.
The bodybuilder, they
Yeah,
call
the
it.
bodybuilder. He's sort of turning into, when the commentary talks about him, he's talking about his strength, and they know he's referred to as the bodybuilder. He's only moments away to being referred to as like the Mark Henry-esque strongest man in the world as he runs out in the field.
Who's Mark Henry?
The WWE star, Mark Henry.
Oh, is he the strongest man in the world?
That's how he was listed on the WWE. It's like, I think he competed in one strongman contest one time, and they were like, he's clearly the strongest man in the world.
Did he win?
No, I don't
Well,
think
then
so.
he wasn't the strongest man in
Well,
the world.
they
That's
don't-
media lies.
It's WWE.
That's
Liam.
the media telling you falsehoods.
It's But hats off to Greg Mazieu. I thought he had a really strong game up the middle. He's returning, he's breaking tackles. He would have done well in a much more successful team, but unfortunately, he on that particular night, it just felt like everyone was trying, but no one knew each other. That's how I felt like watching the game. It felt like they all just met that day, shook hands, and said, "Let's play a game of footy," and that's the result that we got. Liam, who was
the
your hats off for this?
Speed dating. It was a rugby
Speed
league
dating.
speed dating. My hats off. It's not so much a hats off, just more a tip of the cap. I don't want to remove it completely, but I do want to
Little tiny.
give it a little tiny nod.
Yeah.
Dane Gagai,
Yeah.
I thought in defence he was, besides 5 missed tackles, which completely invalidates my argument. I thought he was putting on some powerful hits. He had some good runs. I think
Good
he ran
hits.
for 150 metres plus, perhaps.
Yeah.
Did contribute, as I mentioned, 5 missed tackles to the 44.
If we don't know,
Missed
60,
tackles of-
61.
the 61
missed. If we go
missed tackles, Mr. Speaker.
if we go through them, 4-1-5-2-3-8-4-2-5-4-2-1-4. That's not the reading and writing hotline. That is all the missed tackles from all the players. And you will notice there is a 8 hidden away there. 8 down at the bottom of your keypad. 8. And who does that go to, Liam? It might also work with your hats back on.
Oh, it's a team hats back on team. Kalen Ponga. The chosen one.
It's
The son returned. Canada wasn't good to him. You know, some returned from Canada thriving, like myself, of course, a new man. He's returned a new man as well, but maybe worse, a worse man.
we didn't meet a wife over there that we know of anyway.
Well, all my mates know that when I left, I said, I'm going there to get a wife. And
And you
it
did.
took me,
You
took me 3 days.
You came home.
It's really easy.
Exactly, but you stayed over there for years.
I did. And maybe that's a mistake. He only stayed there for a week.
That's right.
He
Not
didn't
enough
get to
time.
enjoy it.
Not enough
Didn't get
time.
to enjoy it. But where do you see... Well, actually, we'll touch on it more in the sack later.
Sack.
But what is happening with the Kalen Ponga situation now?
With great price comes great expectation, and to be honest, he wasn't even playing well enough for someone that was getting half his contract. He is certainly someone that's not captain of the team and getting that kind of money. There is certain expectation that you'll see Kalen Ponga playing in a certain way, and that way wasn't missing 8 tackles because it felt like he missed 12. He felt like he missed much more.
And the tackles he did make were rather weak anyway and looked like he was going to fall off in any case.
Early on, I thought there was some good initial contact there, but then I thought maybe he got a bit rattled, and then thought maybe this game isn't for me. Maybe I'll play tennis.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned the rattling now because there's been a point brought up by certain people in the rugby league media world, or just people. I might have just been people on Twitter. You got to remember that as of maybe 2 months ago, he thought he may never play rugby league again.
Yeah.
He thought, and we did as well.
We did as well.
He's been hit in the head so many times, he may never make it back.
Yeah.
And so, as someone who's suffered a lot of concussions,
Being yourself, yeah.
being myself, there is that sense of self-preservation.
Yes.
Well, not for me, because
No,
I played fullback, and so I
and you-
tackle with
It's straight with your head.
how
If you
you
know
win.
it. Yeah.
But that's something that is probably weighing heavily on his mind. The
Yeah.
fact that any more injuries could
could be the could
kill him.
Could be. Well, Jesus, we got dark.
It could
The
kill
Joust goes dark. We go looking at all the deep darkest parts of the rugby league. There
And
could
then you look at this stats up in front, up in front of you now, Jousters. Please turn your eyes to the screen.
turn them.
Parramatta also were awful.
They played like shit.
They did. That's 4 swears now, ladies
We can,
and
but it's
gentlemen.
but 3 of them with the same word, so we're allowed. Yeah.
We're allowed to. This is a bad week for us. Look, the
Missed
less
tackles?
tackles made.
Yep.
46 missed tackles still. That's embarrassing.
16 errors.
16 errors, also embarrassing. And yet they embarrassed us with their embarrassment. Double embarrass.
Them
The
at
worst.
them at their worst flogged us at our worst.
Yeah.
Leave
How
this.
does that work?
The,
What about the Kurt Mann situation, Nagy? What do you make of that? We saw
Well, I don't
at
know.
halftime, he was inconsolable in the sheds. He didn't come out and sit on the bench
I don't
at
know.
halftime as a lot of players do. Was he hooked?
Well.
Was he injured?
Well,
Did he get yelled at by Adam and just sat and had a bit of a cry? Because that's okay.
that's okay.
If you get yelled at, it's okay to sit and have a bit of a cry.
Especially
That's fine.
when everyone leaves the room.
Yeah.
Perfect time to have a cry.
Have a little bit of a cry.
I saw him in the sheds. It was weird that he wasn't with the trainer. He wasn't being, checked or looked at by the doctor or anything like that. They said he's injured, and it was an abdominal injury.
He was showing clear signs of dejection.
Yeah, he looked like it,
Such dejection.
which can't be good for team culture. If you're getting, if someone's getting yelled at and someone's berated in front of the rest of their colleagues.
It's like when you used to go, you go over for a sleepover at someone's house and
Yeah.
they do
Oh,
something silly.
and their
they
dad
go-
comes out and yells
Dad
at them.
yells-
Terrifying.
Oh, that happened at a sleepover I was at, I believe it was year 8.
Who was the child? Who was the man?
It was Sam Nolan, lovely fella. I think Sam listens to the show. I remember
yeah.
we were upstairs at his folks' house.
Yep,
Decided to have a pillow fight, didn't we?
of course.
And I can't remember who it was. It wasn't Sam, but someone swung a pillow,
Smashed
got
on it.
hooked on the fan,
Oh dear.
bent the fan blade, and boy, did he get strips torn off him. And we all stayed up there like, oh, well, what do we do now?
What do you do?
We,
You think
we're all in trouble.
there's always a part of you going, "Are we about to get smacked?"
Yeah,
Like,
I thought the wooden spoon was coming out for sure.
no one's safe.
We're about to get paddled on the bum.
Loco parentis is happening in that house, followed by some swift corporal
I
punishment.
didn't know you spoke Latin now.
A little bit. Yeah.
Who says it's a dead language?
From a dead mind. Now, Liam, there's been some players that have jetted off straight after that loss. They said, we don't want to face any criticism in Australia. So we're going to Australia's favourite holiday destination outside of Australia, and that is Bali. Probably Kuta, let's be honest. Bradman Best, he's posted on his socials straight away to say, guess what, guys? I'm out of here.
Now, that's funny that this has happened because as someone who also moved overseas to run away from my problems, kind of works.
Kind of works.
Yeah, give Bradman 4 days over there, away from everything, away from everyone, and, he'll come back and be like, well, yeah, problem solved.
Anyone else a little bit concerned about Bradman Best being in Bali? He's been there before, I'm sure, but, he wouldn't want...
Bradman Best being in Bali. What a strong sentence. A strong sentence.
Bruce. It's slightly frightening that he's going to do something horrific, and then we'll have another controversy to worry about. Everyone will forget about the bad game we played against the Eels because everyone was saying, Bradman Best has just murdered someone with his bare hands.
Oh my God! Maggie, I hope that he doesn't.
I hope he doesn't too.
Yeah, I mean we can't rule.
He's got so much
we
strength.
Can't rule anything out in this life, in this world. Anything can happen.
Do you think he'll get another sleeve on the other leg?
Probably.
Is it a sleeve? Is it a leg, or is it a pant?
I think it's called a.
He's got one of them.
Pant.
A pant.
Well, that's the thing. It's called a pair of pants, which I've never understood. So each leg is a pant.
Yeah.
What a
and you put your pants
word.
on one leg at a time. Maybe that's why he's going to get his pant tattoo.
Maybe you do.
One. I've already got 2 leg tattoos that goes all the way down.
That was maybe you. You put your pants on one leg at a time. I don't.
No,
I roll on my back and just jump into them. Just leaping into them.
Fly into them.
Fly into them. Can we stop talking about the Knights?
Stop
hurting
talking
me.
about pants.
No, more about pants. Less about the Knights.
Behave yourself over there, Brabham. I know he's a big fan of the show.
What's next on the run sheet?
We're going to take a halftime break is what we're going to do, and then we're going to come back and talk about mainly Liam's sack.
Yes, it's a large sack this week, obviously. No game preview. So we're taking all your questions this week. Oh, and there's some prickly ones.
We'll see you in a few moments.
Yes.
Welcome back to the second half of the Joust. Liam, there's a very special rugby league round that the Knights aren't taking part of, known as Magic Round. I'm not a fan of the name, but I am a fan of the product.
Now, why aren't you a fan of the name? I think it's a great name because it is magical. It's a wonderful celebration of rugby league, which is the greatest thing you could possibly celebrate. I always found people who do magic a bit nerdy, a bit weird, though.
I always thought magicians are very strange people.
Yeah.
They have weird sideburns and interesting features.
I'll tell you, when I was growing up in Valor Beach, though, every couple of months there was this young magician. He was 16 years old, I believe. He was hot on the national magician scene, and he used to do a show with his stunning assistant. Every couple of months at Valor Beach there in the wool shed. It was fantastic.
16 years old.
16 years old. He was wonderful. I can't remember his name, but good on you if you're out there.
You'd be older now, hopefully. You haven't. Maybe that was your trick. You remain 16 years old.
What a great trick.
Congratulations.
What would you call it then?
I don't know. I haven't thought of a better name, but I don't like Magic Round. It sounds farcical. Now, Liam, but if you were going to...
What about Rugby League Church?
Rugby League Festival. Festivus. If you're going to be watching this wonderful product, Rugby League, with just game after game after game, but you don't want to make the trip up to Brisbane.
Why would you make a trip up there?
Go far, and it's another state, and it's all these terrible things. You've got to get on the plane, off the plane, a long drive. I don't know.
You got to go through customs, probably.
Probably.
Yeah, you got to get
security
a taxi.
guard. Yeah.
Ugh.
They wave
hang out with people from Brisbane.
They put you to one side and they wave the metal detector wand over you. And then,
that's because they don't trust us.
They don't trust us. No,
good reason they don't trust us.
Suspicious.
But yeah, where will you watch Magic Round if not in Brisbane?
Oh, it has to be the Hamilton Station Hotel. The only place to be watching rugby league in Newcastle is you can park yourself there, surrounded by rugby league fans, watching them on many of their huge televisions, enormous sound. It's almost like you'll be there.
Yes.
It's magic. Now, Liam,
you've just gone against your whole argument. I think you've won yourself over on the Magic Round.
Damn it, I have. You've got it. Liam, there's an unfortunate thing happened this week because you like to celebrate pastry and tie it to a try that the Knights have done, but you were so disgusted in the game that you decided to cancel. Is that right?
Yes. Given the performance of the Knights, I was looking forward to a nice pie. Saturday, Sunday perhaps.
Couldn't do it.
What day do they play?
Friday.
Yep, no. Saturday, Sunday. I thought, boy, I might like a pie.
Yeah.
Boy, I might like a bit of pastry.
Yeah.
No.
Couldn't do it.
Couldn't bring myself to it. I would have vomited up in furiousness.
And the one good thing about
apologies, Jousters, but I was so sick. with my own scorn.
Yeah. And
But I just couldn't bring myself to do it.
the one good thing about the meat in a meat pie, it does already look like vomit a little bit already. So
Exactly.
so you can vomit it straight back up into a cup of pastry and enjoy it again the next day.
Yeah.
Now, but believe me, we got something way more exciting than your pie and try of the week is the bolstering.
No, we don't.
No,
Nothing's more
that's
exciting
true.
than
I
that.
always look forward to it. Now, it's your bolstering, blistering sack.
What a full sack this week as well, Joust. Thank you very much for all the wonderful, thought-provoking questions. But we're going to start with maybe the most thought-provoking one. And, Nagy, this is directed at you.
Please read it.
Specifically.
Please read it. Just
Kay
to do it
William
right.
Wilson, good friend of the show. Question for Nagy and Nagy alone. That being Liam paraded around in North Sydney Bears kit last week and it should be immediately removed from the show. End quote. My question is, do you think Liam should be removed from the show? Maybe start a pie tasting pod with his City Slicker fan base.
Oh, scathing. Scathing.
I feel
That's a question
scathed.
for me. No,
Yeah.
no, Kelly, I don't. But Liam, please answer the question just to spite Kelly.
Now, Kelly, I've actually given this a bit of thought, and this is something I've been thinking about for a while, obviously having, two teams very near and dear to my heart. It's just a feeling that, any dual citizen will have. Anyone who's moved to a new place from their old place, anyone who's found a love of, something that wasn't where they're from. There's a big difference between where you're from and where you are.
Oh, nice.
And as someone who's, lived in many places.
At least two
growing up,
places,
At least two. I think it's about 7 or 8.
Yeah.
I've got several homes around the world.
Bit of a nomad.
Luckily enough. Very much a nomad. And, you can love two things at the same time, Kelly.
Yeah.
You absolutely can. And, would I follow the Bears if they were to return to the NRL? No. No. I'm a Knightsman. I'm absolutely a Knightsman. But the Bears being how I was born into still hold a very dear place in my heart. And so, Kelly, I just wanted to offer a bit of a rebuttal in that you can love two things at once, Kelly. I believe you have 2 children, and I'm sure you love them both. You can love 2 things.
That's true.
And but there is a slight follow-on from Gavin. Gavin says, I'm the kind of guy who will buy a pie with the intention of reheating it for a meal the following day, and I cannot be trusted for that, Gavin. I disagree.
Yeah.
Because overnight, the filling has been given time to develop richness, to become much more familiar with its other ingredients. And so to you boys, I say, eat shit.
Eat shit.
But also thank you for
Stick
the
that one up, yeah.
thought-provoking question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Billy Bennett writes in, Liam.
Call me overly optimistic, Billy. You are overly optimistic, Billy.
You
are. But there was a 15, 20-minute window in the second half after they regained their own dropout. Isn't it nice that we finally had a successful short dropout when we were down by 30 points?
Yeah.
Wonderful that it finally
They
paid
went
off.
for it. They got it.
But he was also overly optimistic that AOB, with all his Roosters experience, and I'll tag in Melbourne experience
Melbourne
there as
itself,
well,
yeah.
would be able to hide Ponga in D, like the Roosters hide Kiri in D,
Yeah.
and how the West Tigers, if I could add to you again, would hide Benji Marshall out on the left wing. Should you retire from being optimistic,
Never.
Billy?
We need it.
Well, now as a Knights fan, you should never be optimistic at all. The fact that you are optimistic and are ready to retire from it, it's too late.
It's too late.
It's too late.
Stuck ingrained. Much like we are attached to the Newcastle Knights of the show.
But you're right. I think there's something to be said for hiding Kalen Ponga in defence.
Yeah.
But it didn't work for Benji. He still broke both of his shoulders every couple of weeks. And I don't think it'll work for Kalen.
You got to put him out there in the middle, in the
But
Russell tussle.
The fact that you're retiring from being optimistic, it worries me that you were optimistic in the first place, Billy. Thank you, though. Excellent question.
Thank you.
Now we've combined these two questions from Anthony Hickling and Sam Fallon. Anthony, how long do the Knights continue the Ponga experiment before moving him back to fullback? And Miller, unfortunately, back to reserve grade, or just commit to the year?
No.
Followed on by Sam Fallon, Tyson responsibly, or Ponga.
Well,
I am going to say something that might get me punched.
Yeah.
I think we stick with it. I think we stick with the Ponga experiment. Last time we all talked about how it failed miserably, blah, blah. We only gave it 2.5 games.
Yep.
That was it. It's only been 2 games this time. If we dump it again, what a waste of time.
Yeah. We will look back on this in years and say,
Yeah.
should we try it again?
It
We only
took
gave it 2.5 games.
It took several years to convince my now wife that I was not a bad idiot.
Yeah.
And I think if we were to now go out and say, Ponga is a bad idiot at football, then the marriage would never work.
I do think there are also 2 different questions because potentially you could move Lockie Miller to 5'8". and move Ponga to fullback. Do the old switcheroo, as they call it. And then keeping...
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Keep Tyson responsibly at 14. Or keep him at maybe move, I don't know, they could shuffle them around. But, keeping Ponga out of the defensive line, you have a very strong argument to say that might be a very good idea.
And I do think there's a lot of benefits to Tyson responsibly in the 14s. I would keep him there. But yeah, I think to dump the Ponga at 6 experiment already after he's only played, 4 games.
Yeah.
I think it's early.
Do you think
it's early. Newton tried to prove gravity for 40 years before that apple fell on his noggin.
Yeah.
If he'd given up after 4 games, we'd all be floating off into space, unbound to this mortal coil because gravity didn't exist.
Can't play rugby league in the air.
Can't play rugby league in the air.
No, it must be fixed on the ground.
Yeah, Volandis. Get us playing rugby league in the air,
Yeah.
dickhead. Liam Jones. Now, this is a cryptic one from Bonesy Jonesy. I like it.
Layered.
Can the Knights at some point this century address the elephant in the room or elephants?
Oh, so you had me with the elephant.
Yeah.
You had me with the elephant, but the elephant is
Now-
there's now 2 elephants.
Well, the thing about the Knights again is this is throughout our lifetime following the Knights, there's been so many elephants in so many rooms. I'm not sure which one you're talking about, Jonesy. There's been an entire flock of elephants at every point in time in history. Not in this room now. You couldn't fit a flock. It's a very small garage.
It couldn't be a flock, no.
But let's discuss the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
On the left here, you see the Asian elephant. Smaller ears. On the
Yes.
right, you see the African elephant,
elephant.
bigger ears.
Yeah.
Asian elephant seems to have some sort of alopecia, perhaps, I think.
Yeah, wrinkles.
Oh, no, that's the one with you lose
The
hair.
hair.
What's the one with the vitiligo?
Of course.
Where you got
That was
different
on the
pigments.
Tip of my tongue.
And so, if we were to discuss the elephant in the room, I think another important point is that elephants are now evolving with no tusks, given, the poaching.
All the dominant tusks ones that keep getting poached.
They
and
keep
so
getting poached.
Yeah.
And so, I think it's prudent of us to discuss the elephant in the room. I've ridden an elephant actually in Thailand when I was growing up.
Did you really?
In Chiang Mai, I was 10 years old. They're really tall, and I'm scared of heights, so it was worrying. They wobble a lot.
When you were on the elephant, did you address the elephant?
I did not. There was
See,
a
that's your
driver.
problem.
There was an elephant driver to address it for me.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what to do.
If anything, possibly instead of addressing the elephant in the room, we simply need 2 elephant drivers.
You need the elephant drivers in the room. There you go.
That's what we're missing.
That's what we're missing.
And if we get those elephant drivers in, we definitely won't have to drop Kalen Ponga and sack AOB.
Now, Nagy, you have worked in the West Group for quite some time. You know Phil Gardner very well.
Oh, my photo is up on the wall at any West club you go into.
Through your dealing with West and with the Knights, you know Phil quite well. Is Phil the kind of man who would happily splash out for, say, several elephant drivers?
Probably, possibly, yeah. I think we can put that into the next budget. You can always see that in the end of all the monthly magazines. At the end, they got all the costing, spendings, and everything like that. You might just put a little item in there. A couple of elephant drivers, fresh from Thailand.
There you go, Liam. I hope we've answered your question. I definitely don't think that we have, but we tried our best, Liam, and that's what came out of our dumbass brains.
Now we have Kelly Wilson, one red-headed man who looks like he's from Ireland, but we have an even more red-headed man who sounds even more like he's from Ireland, in Seamus Kelly.
What a great, strong Irish name, Seamus Kelly. Does Ponga play Origin? ? And if he does he have a switch similar to the highly regarded Dane Gagai Simpsons meme from yesteryear, and he will suddenly remember how to tackle New South Wales players? I don't think he plays. But if he were to play, I think the second part of your question, Seamus, would come true.
Yeah.
It's Ponga in Origin.
The flick of the switch.
The flick of the switch. Ponga in Origin. If he goes back, he'll be fantastic. He'll dominate.
Same as Danker guy.
He was arguably the player of the series last year. I think it's safe to say.
Yeah.
And it just hurts to see. But I think you'd find if you put him in the maroon jersey, I think he'd do really well. But there's a couple ahead of him. I think Reece Walsh. Maybe the front runner, perhaps.
Way ahead.
AJ Brimson recently got injured, so he might not be any good. So maybe no AJ.
But Walsh has lapped Ponga. There's not even a contest between the two fellows at the moment.
Sexy baby Reece Walsh.
That's
sexy.
Well, he's a young man, is what
like
you mean.
a schoolboy.
But he's only 20-something years old. But
and he's got a baby of his own.
He has a baby of his own.
Yeah.
He's a good-looking boy.
Yeah.
Is he the new Kalen Ponga? Because Kalen Ponga came from Queensland. He played fullback, and everyone said, "Oh, geez, a good-looking.
He's a hot boy.
And then
a hot boy.
Do you think there's like a bit of a Zoolander sort of a thing going on? And then it's like he's Hansel. Reece Walsh's Hansel coming in the news, or hip guy.
And Kalen's Ben Stiller.
Yeah, he's Ben Stiller.
Derek Zoolander.
Derek Zoolander.
Potentially, I don't know.
And he can't rely on his good looks anymore. He needs to show up,
the whiz?
shape up.
Nobody beats him because he's the whiz. Shape up or ship up.
out. Ship up. That's the expression. What else is in your sack, Liam?
Great question, Nagy. What else is in the sack this evening? That might be for the sack.
Nothing.
Oh, empty sack. What a wonderful way to empty it out. That was a good thought-provoking sack. Jousters, I really enjoyed that. I'm glad that, we didn't have to discuss what fresh hell we're going to go through watching the Knights at Magic round. So thank you very much.
Yeah, so it's if anything, it's a real blessing in disguise that we get the bye this week. But then the game after that is a very winnable game, I think, against the Gold Coast Titans. If you remember, we spoke about earlier in this very show the way that we turn that losing streak around was at home against the Titans.
And the Titans, they are a team they are chaos personified.
Yeah, they are. They up, they down, no one knows.
Well, they recently suffered the worst, the biggest comeback in NRL history. They were up 26-0 and ended up winning. So the Titans...
No, that was they lost. They lost that game.
No, yeah, sorry, they lost. Yeah. They were up 26-0, they lost. They are agents of chaos. They have been introduced to the world to tear down the traditional order of society. But we'll cover that more next week.
Next week, when we look forward to giving you another episode of the Joust. Thank you very much for joining us once again, guys. Please like us on all those social pipes. Just hit like and subscribe, or doing all of those bits and bobs, tits and tats, shits and gigs. Thanks very much for joining us. We'll see you again next week, and make sure you get down to Hamilton Station Hotel for Magic Round. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.